Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but I'm making another video on the $2,700 Silverado. If you haven't already seen part one, I recommend you go check it out. Kind of shows you what I started with and the circumstances that I got this truck. And I've made some videos in between, some shorter videos on specific repairs and upgrades. So feel free to check those out, leave comments. I try to get back to every comment and answer questions or take suggestions. If you have any comments on the truck or what I should do next, feel free to let me know. Now, obviously I bought this truck for $2,700. I had some rear end damage that you can see in some of the other videos. We did a kind of sort of repair on it, so to speak. I mean, it looked terrible when I got it, but it looks a million times better now, believe it or not. We redid the taillight housing, put a different bumper on there, did a little bit of Bondo and paint work. It's got some bigger dents on the passenger side of the bed. Other than that, the truck is a very solid truck. It's not a bad looking truck. It's a 2005 Chevy Silverado. It is a four-wheel drive. It's not a Z71. It's kind of a base model package, but I kind of like it that way. It's simple. I bought it as a work truck, and it has been an awesome work truck. But it's nice enough where I could put a little bit of money into it and do a few things. Some of the things I've done, I've put different headlights in it. These made a huge difference. The ones that came with were just terrible. They're all crusty, and you couldn't even see the bulbs. They were so foggy and faded. So I bought those. I think they're like 60 bucks on eBay. Then I painted the grill insert, took that out, put masking tape on it, and painted the grill. That made a really big difference. It took a can of black spray paint, and guys, it's held up great. I don't even know if it was nice spray paint. I think it was just like cheap Walmart spray paint. But I got gloss black, and it's made a huge difference. Painted the bow ties well. I tend to do that on every Chevy I get. I just think it looks nice, and I use the same paint. I just take masking tape, I go around the edge, and then I put newspaper as a broader covering, and it works great. I would recommend it to anybody that kind of wants to change the look of it up a little bit. I've got the Don't Tread on Me plate that used to be on Freebird. For those of you who have been around a while, y'all remember Freebird. He was the 04 Colorado. I'm also looking to kind of do the trim black, like the valance under there, and then the fog light housing where the tow hooks are, and then kind of redo the top piece. You know, they've got that trim dye you can get at Walmart or pretty much any auto place or online. I've seen some people do it. I've seen it in person, and it tends to do pretty good. It tends to look good and last a long time, so I may do that. One of the not so great things about this truck are the kind of the worn out work truck wheels. They're not the prettiest to look at. I mean, the truck isn't as a whole. It's a good looking truck, but it does have damage as we've seen. You kind of got to get the good side of it. But I have been thinking about different wheels. If y'all have suggestions for wheels, let me know. I've been looking at like some classic bullet hole, kind of give it an older look to it, an older style. I almost bought a leveling kit for it. It was, I'm not a huge Rough Country fan, but you know, Rough Country had a leveling kit for, it was like $200. It was a little bit of a lift in the rear, like a 2.5 inch lift in the front. And then it came with shocks, so lift shocks. I was really thinking about that. And then one day I decided to go buy shocks, and then I looked at the listing and they'd raised the price of it $50. And I didn't think it was worth $200 to start with, so I was not going to pay $250. So I went ahead and bought some just generic OEM style black shocks. You can see them right there. I got shocks all around, so it's got new shocks in the front and in the rear. I'll show you the rears. They did pretty good. Definitely ride smoother. The shocks that were on it were actually not all that wore out. They still have some life left. The front passenger was getting a little weak, but the other ones were actually pretty good. I probably could have left them on there a little bit longer. They're probably better quality than the ones I bought, because those were only like $100 bucks. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a work truck. It's not anything fancy. The reason for replacing the shocks was it's got a noise in the driver's side and the front end. I thought maybe it was an old shock that had frozen up and was causing a squeak, which I have had happen before. Not on this specific truck. I'll see if I can get the noise. If you heard there was a little creak there, or actually a big creak, it's getting worse. I thought it, may have been a shock. I hopefully I was in hopes that it would fix it when I replaced the shocks, but it did not. My guess is it's something to do with ball joints, tie rods, or CV axles. It's something with the front suspension components, or something with the front CV axle. I wasn't sure about the CV axle, but it may be the issue. I got to look into it a little bit. That's definitely something I need to fix. This side of the truck looks pretty good. It's one dent right there. But overall, you know, not bad. It came with a dual exhaust setup when I bought it. It actually sounds pretty good. It's loud when it needs to be, but it's not obnoxious like some of the other trucks you see on the road, or some of these squatted Silverados that are just obnoxiously loud. It's got a good sound to it. It's got like a muscly sound. I'm pretty impressed with it. In the bed here, you can see some of the work truck tools I have. Gravel rake, I got a shovel, I got a push broom, a regular broom. I've got a traffic cone, an extra trailer hitch, some coolant, tarp, just kind of your generic work truck needs. I do a lot of outside work. Me and my dad also built some boards for the side. I haul junk for people. I haul off brush, and these boards make a huge difference when you pile stuff on here. So if you have branches, or you have trash or anything, stuff that's not heavy but takes up a lot of bulk space, you can haul almost double what you can with just the bed. So that makes a huge difference. Also got this back rack off, I believe it was Sportsman's Guide. I think it was like $160. It was like a universal, you could adjust it. So I've got it slid out. It's adjusted almost all the way, and it's just plugged into the side of the bed there. It's like, I think it's 8 bolts in total, so it's 2 on each side holding it on, and then you just screw in 2 into the sliding brackets on the rack itself. I'll get a little closer and show you. You can see there, you just adjust it out. It is rusting a little bit on the corners. I had some gnarlier welds. As you can see, that's like straight up bridged with weld. It's not perfect, but if you throw a piece of firewood or you throw a shovel up in here, I'd rather whack the back glass and go through my glass, because $160 protector is a lot cheaper than replacing that back glass. I also put a light bar up here. It was just kind of something to make it look more of an off-road than a work truck look. I think it does a decent job. I had the light bar, so I didn't have to buy it or anything. I mean, I had it laying around, so I might as well. And I got it wired in. It goes from the top of the light bar, it goes down, and then it goes under the truck, goes up to the plug in the floor, then it goes up through the firewall and then to the battery. So it's turned out pretty good. I'm not a huge wiring guy. I can do it and I can make it stay, but it's not going to be pretty. I did a pretty decent job on this. It gets the job done. And I hardly ever use the light bar. It's more of a looks thing, honestly, just because if you have it off, those 2 corners stick up and that's all you see. At least that's all I see. Looking on the inside here, it needs to be cleaned very bad, so don't judge too much. It is a work truck at the end of the day. I'm not even going to open the back door because it's just nothing but tools. It's just different equipment and such. Coming in here, it is the base model. So it's got the 4x4 in the floor, which honestly is awesome because I'll pull up to a driveway that's pretty steep and has gravel. I don't want to spin it all up. I'll just stop for half a second, pop that into 4x4, and it's good to go. It's not that electronic shift, which the electronic shift doesn't take a long time, but I like just popping it in there manually. Also installed a trailer brake controller. I got the plug and play. So essentially, wires come off the back, you run them under, you run them through, and they go into your control module there. I believe it's called the body control module, or BCM. It goes into your BCM and it plugs in. So it took me maybe 10 minutes to install this. You just screw it into somewhere on your dash that you want it, and then it's in. So that's been awesome for when I haul trailers for work. I've also got the light bar control switch right there. It's nothing fancy, but it works. I think that came off Freebird as well. So there's little pieces of Freebird in this truck. I made a video about the sound system. It's got about the cheapest sound system you can get. It was $30. I paid, I think, $8 for a wiring harness and maybe $8 or $10 for the little mounting thing, the little cubby hole right there. So it's really got about a $50 sound system. It's got 4 speakers, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. When I bought it, it came with paper speakers from the factory, and those were just automatically just terrible from the start. But they would blow out or tear after a couple years or a little while. They would just basically rot away since they were just paper. So you're pretty much going to need to redo the speakers on any of these older trucks unless it's been really well taken care of. I left the marble pack in here that was under the seat when I bought the truck. Just kind of a neat little thing. Got a little dragon deal up here. It's just something funny to, you know, just keep it interesting. I think it's cool just to have little neat things, you know. People find it funny. They think it's cool. Got it up there with Velcro. One of my favorite upgrades so far has been the backup camera. It's a mirror mounted backup camera. It's not a fancy one. I think it was $40 on Amazon. And it just slides on your mirror and you just clip those rubber holders around it. I've got it wired back to the plate here, and it just runs off the plate. It came with an option where you can put it into your 12 volt and have a button that you click, so you could put it in here and it had a button you could click. But then you had to wire that over here, up the A-pillar, over, and then to the mirror. And I just did not want all that there. I want it to be where I put it in reverse and it came on, and it does do that, which is awesome. When I take it out of reverse, it goes off. It's especially great because with those boards, you can hardly see anything when you're backing up. So to have that little window there, just like a third eye, just really helps. So that's basically what I've done to the interior. It's nothing fancy. If I continue just to use this truck and keep it, I would be interested in putting a better sound system in it. That is an important factor to me, is sound. I listen to a lot of music and a lot of stuff while I'm on the road. I do need to do a headliner still. The headliner's pretty trenches, but that can wait. It's not an immediate thing. I'm gonna get the front end squeak fixed first. That's more important. And once I get that done, I'll look into doing the headliner. There's some places around that do it fairly inexpensive. It's really not that bad. But yeah, that squeak is pretty bad, so I do need to get that looked at. But yeah, that's kind of where the truck is at right now. Like I said, I use it for work. I pull a lot of trailers with it, some heavier trailers. I'm looking into getting a bigger truck. I've got a new video series coming soon. I hope y'all stay tuned for it. It's going to be pretty exciting. It's a new addition to the channel. I think y'all really like it. So stay tuned for that. I should be hopefully posting that sooner or later. I'm still working on it, getting it ready for the video. But stay tuned for that. If you have any questions on this Silverado, please let me know. I love answering comments. I love getting feedback. If you have any suggestions or what worked for you or what you've done so far, I love to hear about other people's trucks as well. So feel free to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you want. I certainly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.